Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Oh my heavens, we made it to episode 100. Thank you to everybody who made today possible. This is a big deal for me. When I started swim lessons, I wanted to brighten people's days. I wanted to make a name for myself in the podcast community and broadcast community. And I've kind of done that, but there's a lot of work yet to do. And just today, I had a rough day. And there's so many times in your life where you get certain things that bring you joy and that you get to do, and you'll do it for free. And if you get paid for it, that's just an added bonus. And that's what swim lessons was for me. Swim lessons was something that I started out and it cost me money to do, but I really enjoyed doing it. And through the years, through over 100 episodes, we've had a few sponsors, and I appreciate everybody. And it's been a great trip, but like a conversation that you're about to hear with my best friend Trevor Thomte was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of laughs and a great time. But swim lessons is it's a podcast about overcoming tough times, and what we try to do here is tell people what they can do differently to try to improve their life, and what they can take a lesson from somebody that they might have heard on here and make it applicable to their life. And that's what this is all about. And I know some people, they go, wow, that person just, they're a teacher. What can I learn from a teacher? You can learn a lot of things from a teacher. Oh, that guy's just a football coach. Football coaches don't know shit. Well, you can learn a lot from a football coach. You can learn a lot from anybody. You just have to be willing to listen. So that's kind of what I've learned through 100 episodes here on Swim Lessons, the podcast. And I just want you to know, if you're listening to this, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening. Thank you for making a dreamer's dream come true. And I cannot wait for the next 100, because we've got some big plans. We just have to kind of twist the knob a little bit more and try to wait. And we're trying to unlock that safe. We got to keep twisting the lock, wait for it to key. So I appreciate everybody and appreciate the following people, because they made today possible. And I'm going to be calling some games for these guys later down the road of this week, down in Dickinson and Wilson, North Dakota. And that is PSP Network. It's game day, baby. They've been promoting local student athletes for a very long time. And right now in basketball and hockey season, it's picking up to become tournament time, the best time of year. PSP's got all your needs to follow your favorite student athlete, whether it's in Minot, Bismarck, Dickinson, Williston, Fargo. Give them a follow on YouTube at PSP Network, or check out their website, psp.network. Appreciate you, PSP. And if you're in Williston, North Dakota, and in the Bakken area, go to River's Edge Bar and Grill. They are known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. Next up is the great and powerful Glasso Angus, a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons. They are your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glasso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and they are built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out. That's Glasso, Glasoe, Angus.com. And then Fancy Panda Design. They are an independently owned design studio that specializes in branding, logo design, and marketing. They focus on adding value into your business to be as successful as possible. Deliberately distinctive design. Get fancy with Fancy Panda. Appreciate you, Fancy Panda. Last but not least, working with these folks too, Game Day Media. More than a game. Your leader in live video sports coverage in Northwest North Dakota. At Game Day Media, our goal is to expose, support, and promote the best athletes that North Dakota has to offer. Subscribe to our channel at Game Day Media ND on YouTube, or find us on Facebook at Game Day Media for schedules, quick links to games, stats, everything you need to follow that favorite student athlete of yours. Appreciate all those sponsors, and I appreciate my guest today for episode 100. That is the amazing and wise Trevor Thomte. And here we go with episode 100. Let go! We are filming this on Monday night, and we just saw the Minnesota Football Vikings get there. I mean, it's like funny because Viking fans every year, it's the same shit. Like, okay, we did really good. They had the best year, 14 wins, and then like just falls apart at the end.
I mean, that's just kind of on par Minnesota sports in general. Get the fans excited just to crumble early in the playoffs, earlier than expected.
Yeah.
So tough. I'm sure Vikings fans are used to it, though.
Sam Darnold's worth, I think, is just going down by $7 million each to probably these last 2 games.
Definitely hasn't really performed as well as a guy would want him to in the playoffs, considering how well he did in the regular season. So, yeah, I don't know if a lot of teams are willing to put a lot of money in that basket. So,
speaking of money, Deion Sanders today, I just read on Twitter or X that Jerry Jones reached out to Deion and was like, "Hey, we want you to bring you back to Dallas. We want Deion Sanders, and we're gonna take Shadeur." Dude, can you imagine Jerry Jones always saying Shadeur?
We're gonna get them Sanders boys in there. We're gonna win us the Super Bowl.
We need Shadeur.
I don't know if that's the move as a Cowboys fan, but I don't even know what is the right move anymore. I mean, it's just been misery ever since I can remember. So
what happened this year?
It'd be interesting though. It'd be interesting. Get Deion in there. You'd get maybe some Colorado fan base would follow now, and who knows? Could be interesting.
Well, and then, I mean, what do you think of Shadeur? Because then I don't think he's going to get number 1 or number 2. So maybe if he slides back, and then you can maybe trade Dak and get rid of the big contract, and then you bring in Sanders. It's a complete rebuild, but... Well,
another thing, too, with that is Dak's contract now. They're kind of locked in with him.
Are they?
And I don't know if any other team is going to be willing to pay him what the Cowboys were.
Yeah.
I honestly was kind of thinking it was time to move on from Dak. I don't know if I would have gave him the extension.
There's only so much pie.
So much pie. Of course, had to give Zeke a little pie this year.
CD gets a piece of pie.
I mean, it's with with Dak's extension. I think it's kind of gonna screw him over as far as paying some of their defensive players that they're going to want to keep around. So,
did you see Jerry Jones's cinema piece or acting piece in the Landman show?
Actually, yes.
That was amazing.
Me and Sarah, we watch that show usually once a week whenever it comes out.
Is it pretty good?
It's not bad. I mean, coming from working in the oil and gas industry, a lot of the actual like working scenes are nothing like how it would actually be out there. Maybe it's done like that down in Texas, but definitely not up here. But no, when Jerry came in, it caught me off guard. I didn't see anything on
what does he
X.
have to do with that scene?
Well,
what's the deal?
So the guy that's in the hospital where Jerry comes in and has this scene, he's like a super high up with this oil company, and Jerry Jones is kind of famous for he got his money from oil, and that's how he was able to buy the Cowboys. But I don't know if his everything he had in that scene was actually true. I mean, he talks about how he bought the Cowboys, and he loves, his favorite thing about it is working with his kids and kind of setting everything up for his kids, which as a Cowboys fan, not too happy with Jerry as a GM lately, or Steven. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be Jones family from here on out. So hopefully things will turn around, but I'm not super confident
It's
in
been tough.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm going to fix that mic for you, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, we're back. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And now if you're a Vikings fan, obviously you're probably going to have to let Darnold go. And then I saw a crazy thing. Have you watched the Aaron Rodgers documentary?
Yes, a little bit of it. I mean, I usually start it before bed, so I haven't seen the whole.
How many episodes?
Is there only 4, right?
I thought there was only 3.
3, maybe. I think I've seen majority of them. Yeah.
Did you see the ayahuasca part?
Yes, that was kind of funny.
When he's like, "I feel like a butterfly. I just want to get out of my cocoon and go fly with you guys."
There's actually a scene. I'm surprised it wasn't a meme, but they were doing their final night, their fire, and everybody was dancing, having a good time. And there's just a scene, and you see like the fire like burning in his eyes, and he's just like giggling like a little kid. I'm like, he's so messed up right now. But it's kind of cool to see a professional athlete kind of be so open to doing something like that. It's I don't know, kind of funny.
Well, they say like there's something to taking those ayahuasca trips, because then if you're an alcoholic and you go on those, you're just like done drinking, like that guy that used to be the safety for the Bills, married to Rachel Bush.
Oh, Jordan Poyer. He was with him in that.
He was with him in that. And he's like stone cold sober off that. And now he's like he's going on these trips after NFL season. So it changed his life.
I did not know that.
He was an alcoholic. But dude, okay. One of the guys that you turned me on to is Zach Top. And there's this clip that I wanted to show you about Zach Top. And it's hold on, where is it? Here it is. Okay.
Zach Top was born September 1997 in Sunnyside, Washington, USA. If you go back 9 months from his birthday to the winter of 1996, in November 1996, Alan Jackson played at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. Have you seen Zach Top's face, his mustache, his sound?
He does look a little bit like Alan Jackson.
You know,
and isn't that nuts?
I was always told something that if it looks like shit and smells like shit, it's probably shit. So there's who knows? Who knows?
It could be.
Maybe Zach Top has a very good relationship with his birth father. So who knows? Hopefully that's not going to cause any issues with him.
I wish I would have known about Zach Top, because I think it was last summer he was in Glendive, Montana at their fair. And I'm like, Zach Top, that's weird. And then like literally 2 weeks later, you sent me that when he's talking about his ex moving to Malibu, or no, his new girl moving to Malibu. What's that song? I can't bounce downstairs. I only gonna wait to work.
Oh, God, why can't I think?
I can't think of it.
I sleep like a baby.
I sleep
that one?
like a baby. It's a good song.
God dang it!
It's all
anyways.
good. But I wish like a place like Forebears would get Zach Top or somebody, because he's gonna get too big. He's gonna be the biggest soon.
Well, that's the thing. He's already, I think, one of the big timers now, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So a chance of one of our little civic centers or something around here getting him are probably pretty slim for the next couple of years. But you never know. Sometimes Newtown or Devil's Lake or something, one of the casinos gets a pretty big name artist out of nowhere. So,
by the way, happy belated birthday, bro. Cheers,
thanks, buddy.
Thanks for coming on the 100th episode. Here we go.
33 feels great. Here I am.
Yeah, 100.
Still kind of nervous, but here we are.
You're good. No, you're fine. You're doing good. Nice jersey, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm repping Dirk right now. If you're listening on Spotify, Dirk Nowinski. Trevor's repping Klay Thompson. What'd you think of Klay going to the Mavericks?
I think it's good for him. Nice to get a change.
Need a fresh start.
Go with a title contender too. Yeah. I mean, Luka and Kyrie are pretty good guys to team up with, I think. So, he seems to be, kind of as expected. Hasn't really been a superstar, but he kind of puts up a quiet, probably 16, 17 a night, and kind of stinks. Injuries kind of plagued that guy from having a really, really awesome career, but still got rings with the Warriors.
That was so fun when they were in their prime. Him, Steph, Klay.
That kind of during that era kind of brought me back into watching NBA a little bit more. I kind of had almost given up on it and enjoyed watching the college game a little bit more, but the Splash Brothers definitely kind of changed the game, and it was kind of that 8-year-long battle, Splash Brothers against LeBron. It was inevitable they were going to meet up eventually. So gave us some good entertainment over the years.
We got to see him live, and Kevin Durant was even there.
We did, yes.
I was living in Scottsdale, and was Homer down there?
Yeah, Homer.
It was me,
Sarah.
Homer, and Sarah, and we went to the Suns versus Warriors.
Suns versus Warriors. Yes, that was the year that they broke the Bulls' regular season record. That team.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty stacked team.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting game. Got to see Draymond get kicked out right away. Shocker. But no, that was the last NBA game I went to, and it had been a while since I had been to one. So that was a lot of fun. The whole Phoenix, down there in that whole,
except for your hotel that night.
That's a whole
Tell everybody that story. Well, I love that story.
So,
because next morning I texted you and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, what do you want? What are you guys doing?" He's like, "Dude, we had a long night. We didn't get to bed till like 5." I'm like, "What?"
So, I'll try to get a short version of the story. Anyways, we're sitting at my grandpa's place down in Arizona. We're sitting by the pool and kind of coming up with a game plan for the evening. We knew we were going to go to the game and whatnot. So I wanted to get a hotel room somewhere closer to your place or somewhere
Scottsdale.
closer to downtown Phoenix where we were going to the game. And evidently the number that I had called was not for a single hotel. It was some booking agency. The hotel, after I'd got us reserved or whatever, I looked at the pictures and it didn't look too terribly bad, but we're kind of like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, go on. We get the hotel rooms reserved, go out, go to the game, have a great time, go out afterwards, enjoy some drinks. And we get an Uber back to this hotel, and it's one of those, like, you check in and you're not actually in a building. Like, it's just a little, basically a toll booth looking thing with like barred windows. And I'm like, checking in, gives you a key to the room. Well, we go up to the room. Sarah's already at this point just like, oh, no, we're not staying here. I'm just like, oh, just give it a shot. We're already here. It took us like 45 minutes. Wasn't nowhere close to where we wanted to be. Anyways, open up the room. Smells like somebody just smoked a pack of smokes in there. Sink doesn't work. Just a bad scene like you see on a lot of
Law and Order.
Law and Order, Unsolved Mysteries, Dateline, a lot of stuff like that. So ended up Ubering about an hour and 15 minutes back to my grandpa's place that night about
Keys?
3 a.m.
Oh,
Yes.
what did he say?
Well, he, of course, my grandpa, I could have told you something. I should have known. You should have never. I would have came and got you. Well, it's our grandpa knows best. But yeah, no, that one's on me. Hand up. I messed up on that one, but got a story out of it. Anyways, didn't end up on the news, so that's good.
We had a lot of good times in Arizona. A lot of fun. Can't talk about on a podcast, but a lot of fun. Fun time. I miss it down there. Are you guys gonna go down there this year?
Maybe not this year. We'll see once basketball's over and stuff. We'll see how things are looking. But
yeah, let's talk basketball. I mean, because we knew last year you guys at Divide, because you're assistant coach for everybody listening.
Yep.
Zach Johnson's head. We had him on a couple weeks ago, but last year you guys had a pretty down year.
Yep.
But then, and it didn't help that Stockton got hurt. One of your best players, Stockton Nelson.
Yep.
Shout out Stockton. But then this year you kind of got a new, fresh, really good team. And then I'm checking the scores after like 10:30. I knew you guys were playing in Alexander. Tough game. They're a good team.
Yep.
You guys win by what, 2?
2 points.
That's a big win.
It was a huge win for us.
So I mean, that had to be a good feeling, because now it feels like you guys are kind of gaining momentum in a district that's very like top heavy, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And the bottom's kind of up for grabs, or not bottom, I should say, like 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Well,
we kind of know the top 2.
Looking at our district, yeah, Ray and Powers Lake are definitely the
Powers
top 2.
Lake beat Ray by 10.
I've seen that.
What the?
They just beat White Shield tonight too by 13. I think that was a good
Powers
game.
Lake did.
Yep. But I think those two are close to the top.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the sure 2 front runners, and then it's kind of wide open from there.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken Mayer's always going to be a pretty scrappy team. They always are. Trinity, Trenton, they're both down a little bit. Trinity lost Kai Thomas. That was a big part of their scoring, but they had some pretty talented younger kids coming up. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this year's district shakes up and who ends up being in the play-in game. It's really all up for grabs. We actually have 2 big road games this week, Trinity and Trenton. So if we could win 1 or 2 of those, that'd be huge for us. But
It's with like the new gym and everything too. There's just kind of a reignited thing in Divide County basketball, I feel like.
I think so, yeah. And last year with it being Zach's first year, a lot of it was kind of implementing his program the way he wants it to. Our offense and the way we're going to do things. And then losing Stockton, our leader, only returning experienced varsity player for the most part. Losing him for the whole year was pretty tough. a lot of inexperience out there, but it was definitely very beneficial for all those guys that were there. And that's showing this year that, maybe they're not as rattled at some moments that they would have been last year. Take care of the ball a little bit better, a little more poised when it comes to pressure. So, no, it's nice to see. It's nice to see some progress and some results of what we've been working on, the last couple of years. So,
when you think back on kind of what you want, like, because I'm a dad now,
yep,
and like, how cool is it though to have Kyre's what, 4 now?
3. It'll be 4 in March.
4 in March.
In May. Sorry, May.
So, like, how cool of a feeling is it to have, like, Kyre come to games? Because I couldn't even imagine, because I've just been a dad for a month.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even imagine, like, Cade coming to a game and watching me play. But, like, for you to have Kyre come to a game and actually know what's happening, not just be staring at the ceiling empty, just waiting for his next glass of milk or bottle of milk. But how does it feel to be a dad and have your own kid watching, like, cheering on, wearing Divide County shirts and stuff?
So it's really cool. Kyre's still at that age right now where he likes the games. He likes, when everybody's cheering. He likes the band. He likes, watching basketball for a little bit. Oh yeah, when the band's playing and stuff, he'll be standing up there clapping his hands. But I bring him with to open gyms and stuff and occasional practices if he wants to come. But he's still a little too young, I think, to really, really enjoy it. I think I was probably about a kindergarten or first grade, and my dad and Jake were coaching the varsity team together. And I remember me and Austin Duvetter were kind of water boys, ball boys, whatever it may be. We were at every practice and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that eventually Kyre will come into that role and really, really like basketball. Avon, she loves basketball right now. It's probably her favorite thing.
That's awesome.
So I think she thinks it's pretty cool having a coach in the household and kind of getting to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff and whatnot. So
that's got to be. I watched Avon in that the halftime Mini Maroons played of the game that Game Day Media was broadcasting. Even had a steal and went to. I mean, she's pretty good for her age.
Yes.
They can dribble below their head. They're pretty good.
Yes, they the DC Stars. They got
DC Stars. My bad.
They got a good program there, and Avon's got a pretty good little team. So fun to watch.
Speaking of great programs, how about the Bison? Dude, I didn't see that coming. I was like, Montana State's undefeated. Tommy Malott, Walter Payton, Player of the Year. Taco Dowler, a great special teams player. That's what pissed me off about that game. Okay, I get you. If you're Montana State fans and you're listening, I get it. You didn't play well in the first half. Second half, they played really well. But at the end of the game, you got a good punter good punt returner, special teams player like Taco, who could easily return that. But instead, you didn't have anybody back there and just let NDSU kick it.
Yeah, kind of one
of those.
What
did you think?
Kind of one of those shocking endings. Didn't really expect it to end like that.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, as a Bison fan, I was very happy to see it, but just kind of one of those weird endings to a game where you're not really satisfied with how it ended necessarily. Yeah. I mean, I kind of get his strategy going for the all out block there. I mean, kind of got to get desperate, but no good for the Bison. I think that touchdown Tommy getting the Walter Payton Award was probably a little more fuel for Cam Miller, and it being his senior year, it was nice to see him go out with a title.
I cannot believe that the Bison didn't lose 0 recruits from the portal. They didn't lose anybody. I just saw, as of today, Dom Izzo, shout out Dom, Dirty Dom, he tweeted out that, the Bison have 0 people entering the portal, and that's including Bryce Lance, who that's I thought was gone. Yep. I'm like, he's going to go somewhere and get paid. But they didn't lose anybody. So whatever Polasek is doing there must be working very well.
Well, I think it's not only what Polasek's doing, but what the coaches before him have done.
Yeah.
And the program that has been built up in the last 10 to 15 years. I think it's just kind of a almost mentality, like it's a brotherhood more than it is anything. And it's pretty unique to see that in college sports, especially now, like you said, to not have anybody transfer is really impressive. I mean, coaches are doing the right thing, got the right culture there. Kids want to stay around. So it's unfortunate that we don't really get to see more of that, especially in the the big boy leagues.
Yeah.
But
speaking of big boy leagues, my favorite part of college football was when Shane Gillis was the guest picker on College Game Day.
When he called Nick Saban Alabama Jones.
Dude, I have so much respect for Shane Gillis because
he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit, and he's like all time. Do you watch his podcast at all?
Yeah, some of it. He's probably one of the funniest guys out there right now.
But here's Shane talking about.
That's why I spazzed and talked on Saban, like because he was like, "What do you think about the game?" And I was like, "I don't know. Nick Saban cheated." It was just a full spaz.
It was so good though.
I mean, I'd like to explain that because that was so. After I said that, we had to go into the stadium to sit at the desk. Then I got in there, and right before we go on, he looks at me and he's like, "I heard what you said." And I was like, "Holy shit." And then Herb Street and McAfee were like, "He's just breaking your balls, dude. He loves messing with guys. Like, he's literally just." And I was like, "Oh, all right. I'll with him back." I would have never done that if I thought he was serious. They told me he was around, so I started with him. And then as soon as we get done, I tell Herb Street and McAfee, I'm like, "Bro, he was definitely serious." And they were like, "No way he was serious. Go talk to him." So I went up to him after and he was like, "You think the SEC dominated because we cheated? That's bullshit."
Were you helping him?
But then, so he was still on the stage and I was on the field. So after he yelled at me, I had to help him down. And he.
Have you watched the Shane Gillis special lately?
It's been a while, but it's one that I own on Amazon, so it gets frequented.
He's my favorite. I like where comedy's at right now, but there's one guy that I can't, no matter how hard I try, I just can't. Theo Vaughn. I don't get it.
Not a Theo Vaughn guy?
I'm not a Theo Vaughn guy. Like, I tried to listen to Theo and Joe Rogan because Theo had Joe Rogan on, and I'm like, Joe Rogan is God to me. And like, they're talking and Theo Vaughn's like, "Yeah, man, I wish I had a cat with like a battery in it so the cat never went to sleep and it was just the all-time cat." I'm just like, what?
He's definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah.
The thing with Theo is a lot of times some of that stuff he says, even though he's just like making it up or whatever, is really funny. But I have a tough time like knowing when he's being serious or not.
Right.
He's I don't know. I listen to some of the interviews that he gets where he, like, the one time he had a lunch lady, another time he had like a custodian, just random.
Yeah.
Those are pretty interesting and kind of a good idea for guests. But
I tried to do random people on this podcast. I had Doc on. Holy fuck, I couldn't air it.
Uncle Doc,
like Doc Holliday, the dancing Doc. I couldn't air it, dude.
Because the FBI get a hold of it or what?
I know, because like I love him.
Can you blur my face out?
Dallas. No, but like, we started off and shout out Doc if you watch this. I love him. He's a really good guy. He's a good dude. But like, he started off like with a poem and stuff, and I was like, oh shit. We were both wearing suits and it just didn't go as planned. So maybe we'll try it again. But I don't know. Just
you were both wearing suits?
Yeah, he's like, if we're going
like Step Brothers interview.
Yeah, he said if we're gonna wear suits. So we suited up and it was fun. This was probably a couple months ago, but maybe we'll do it in the future.
I've never seen the lost footage from this.
Maybe I didn't even edit
dig it out of the archives.
Maybe we'll do one down the way. But okay, are you going to keep loving the Timberwolves the way they're playing right now? Because I'm having a hard time. I just seen last night how Ant got, I think he got fined $50,000 for flipping off the referees. I know you're a T-Pups guy.
Yep.
I've watched a lot of playoff games with you. And it's just like, was the Randall trade right? Should the Timberwolves have kept Cat? Because they played a lot better with Cat, and now like Cat's doing okay with the Knicks. Julius Randle and Ant have had a couple words a couple times. I don't know. It feels weird there in Timberwolves land.
Honestly, I can kind of compare the Timberwolves to the Cowboys in a way. How I wanted to move on from Dak Prescott is what the Timberwolves did with Cat. I mean, he had a great career there. He was the kind of the heart and soul of that team. But but so many years of just kind of the same old thing. And the one thing with me personally with him was just I couldn't stand how much he whined. Probably one of the biggest babies in the league.
Dumb fouls at half court. He'd like belly bump somebody and get a foul. It was obvious foul.
I mean, it was getting really old.
Yeah.
Super talented guy, and I'm not surprised that he's having the success that he's having in New York. The one thing that I'm a little disappointed in is DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to be a little bit better, especially on the offensive end. As of lately, like the last 4 or 5 games, he's kind of coming into a rhythm, but he was kind of one of the key ones that right away I was happy. I said they needed to move on from Cat. It's good for Cat to be, somewhere else doing well. But yeah, as of right now, I think the Timberwolves definitely lost that
I
trade.
think they lost it.
But they have the 2 rookies. I thought they won the draft this year, and neither of them are seeing the floor. So
Right.
They got some issues, man.
You know what I think about a lot? And RIP to the GOAT, Flip Saunders. How great of a coach was he?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I screwed up so bad. So when I was in college, me and Mark Goldberg became good buddies.
Yep.
And at the time, I was a pretty big, I love Phil Jackson, so I kind of liked the Lakers for them. I can't stand the Lakers now.
Yeah.
But I liked Phil and I liked Kobe. And
I remember that, yeah.
So me and Mark would go to the Lakers versus Timberwolves game every year. So one year we go, and we're sitting we had pretty good seats. Shout out Mark's dad, he bought them. So we had pretty good seats, and we're probably row 2 or row 3 behind the Timberwolves bucket.
Yeah.
So before the game, we're walking around and Flips, and I was wearing this U.S. Mail postcode backwards hat, trucker hat. I thought it was so cool with a Kobe jersey. And we're walking, and Flip Saunders wasn't coaching at the time. I think he was helping in the front office or something. But he was walking right by us, stopped and started talking. And me and Mark were just dumbfounded. I think we were 21, 22 at the time. And I wanted to ask him for a picture, just be Flip, I love you. You're the best. But I didn't say anything to him because it was just, and then some dude behind me yelled, "Hey, mailman, move it." I'm sorry, buddy. So we moved it. But and then 3 years later, 3 or 4 years later, he died.
Yep.
And I always think what if Flip could coach this year's Timberwolves team? They'd probably be pretty good. And if Flip Saunders had a chance to coach a guy like Anthony Edwards, like he did with Kevin Garnett, they'd be in the Western Conference Finals almost every year. It's
it's tough to think of the what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
Flip gave the Timberwolves some good years back when we were youngsters growing up. The 2004 Western Conference Finals, I think, when they lost to the Lakers. Spreewell, got to feed my kids, that
was the best.
Kind of ruined.
Remember those shoes?
Oh yeah, I remember the
sprees,
spinning
you
rims.
stepped on them and they made and the sprees.
Those and those Dada shoes.
Oh,
Get them
yeah.
personalized. We all rocked those in
Dada.
5th and 6th grade.
I forgot about those.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing with the Timberwolves is just kind of transitioning into a year without the guy that's been their leader for the last 7 years, 8 years. So it'll be kind of a learning curve for them, but you want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year. Just hopefully standings wise, they're still in it for postseason. So
what's going to happen with the NFL playoffs? Can the Chiefs beat the Texans? I'm really nervous about that one. I'll go on record saying that. I'm really nervous. I thought the Chargers, and I talked to you that morning. I'm like, hey, you got anything going on this weekend? And we were talking bets like we always do.
Yep.
And you were like, I'm taking all the favorites, which I thought was a good move.
Yep.
I'm like, there's no way the Chargers lose to the Texans because the Texans look like dog shit. But then the Texans come out and beat the piss out of the Chargers. Beat them up bad.
I mean, the Chargers offense was just non-existent that game. It was
J.K. Dobbins was missed, and
it was really surprising. I thought placing that bet with all the favorites, but you got to know going into wild card weekend that there's going to be some upsets and whatnot. I picked the Buccaneers as well. I thought they were playing good ball. I didn't think that the Commanders were had enough experience and enough veteran leadership on that team. Doinked it off the upright end to win.
We were talking about Zane Gonzalez with the hair.
That was,
dude, 5 times just whoosh, whoosh. Wasn't that weird?
So watching that live, the kids were already in bed and stuff, so I'm just sitting on the couch by myself and watching that live as he's putting his helmet halfway on and back off and messing with his hair. I just started giggling and I said, this guy is shitting his pants right now. No way he's going to make this kick 6 yards longer than an extra point.
Doinked it.
Won the game though.
Yeah.
Looks like a stud afterwards, but it was funny.
Well, even before that, they were showing him he like took off his shoe and then he whispered over to the athletic manager, "I need a bigger shoe." And he took off his sock and he different sock. Like he was like you could see the shit running down his pants pretty much.
Kickers, man, they're got to be a different animal to play that position.
I can't talk because the Chiefs doinked in one to beat the Chargers.
That
was
this
bad.
year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That was to win the AFC West.
Yeah, I was, like I said, kind of disappointed in the Chargers. I thought that they would, pull that one off. With Sarah being a Chargers fan, that kind of probably makes me all.
What'd she do with that Herbert
bit.
jersey? Because she bought that really nice Herbert jersey at the Classic auction.
Still got it. It's at the house. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so who you taking, Texans, Chiefs?
I'm going to take the Chiefs in that one. I just think they're in a different tier than the Texans.
How about,
I think it's going to be closer than expected.
I think it will be.
I haven't seen what the spread is, but
I don't know. I think it was 6.5 last I saw.
I think
Chiefs.
Basically every game from here on out is going to be a close one. I think, but we'll see what I know.
How about Baltimore and Buffalo?
I think Buffalo beats them. I know everybody's talking Lamar Jackson MVP this year. I just think Buffalo is the more rounded team right now. I think Josh Allen is playing unstoppable. So I think it's going to be Buffalo.
He's got a little Kentucky waterfall going on.
A little bit, yeah.
He's got the little Joe Diffie going on. But I can't talk because he got engaged to what's her name? He just got engaged to her. It's not
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld, yeah.
Yeah.
So who's in the NFC then? NFC it'll be Los Angeles and Philly.
Yes, I believe so.
Who are you taking?
Or no, Los Angeles would be the higher seed, or higher seed. So they'll play the Lions.
Lions. Who you taking? Look, Detroit looks good.
So here, let's see. It's going to be Lions and
let me check.
I think it's going to be Commanders, Eagles. No.
No, it'll be Commanders, Lions.
Yep, that's right.
And then it'll be Eagles and Rams.
So I think Lions are a wagon right now. I think they take care of business.
That's an easy one
with the Commanders.
That's easy. How about Eagles Eagles Rams? Los Angeles looks good tonight.
Eagles. I mean, if you look at the rosters, Eagles should win that game. But I thought that the Vikings should have won tonight.
I did too.
I don't know. Rams could be a kind of a sneaky good team. You got Stafford who's been there before. But if I was a gambling man, I'd put money on Philly.
Okay, so then that makes your NFC Championship Lions Philly. Who are you taking that one?
I think Lions win by at least a touchdown.
So then in the AFC, you've got Kansas City versus Buffalo. Who are you taking that one? You can be honest. I know who you're going to say, but it's all good.
No,
you're going to take Buffalo.
No, believe it or not, as much as I don't want this to happen, Chiefs are going to beat them. Chiefs are going to keep doing what they've been doing all year. They're going to find ways to win games late. They're the best coach team in the league. It's like the Patriots when you least expect them to win when everybody thinks that they're down and out.
Yeah,
they just do it again. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City wins another Super Bowl this year.
If Kansas City can get through Houston, I think they'll be okay. Like, I'm really nervous because you know how it is with a bye.
I really don't think Houston's much of a test right now for them, though. I mean,
you don't think so?
I don't think so. I wouldn't sweat it if I was you.
Okay, so then the Super Bowl is Chiefs versus Lions. Who are you taking?
I think Lions make history.
They beat them in the 3-peat.
I think so. Something different about this Lions team. When I thought that the Vikings were going to go into Detroit and beat them, get the 1 seed possibly, the way they took care of business there kind of really showed what they're capable of with their banged up defense. Losing David Montgomery, still able to move the ball well.
And to be honest, like it should have been last year's Super Bowl should have been Lions versus Chiefs.
It should have been.
It should have been, but the Lions pissed it down their leg.
Yes, and I think that loss has probably been what's fueled them this year to be so hungry and to kind of play as well as they have.
The only thing about the Lions though that I question is like obviously running back, because I thought Montgomery was playing out of his mind, and when you got Montgomery and Gibbs playing together, yeah, you're going to be very good. Now Montgomery's done for the year. Gibbs is going to be who knows what. I mean, that's kind of a question. And Hutchinson out changes everything. And I mean, their defense is beat to shit too.
They are. They had a lot of guys step up there last week. That was good to see, but I'm actually excited for Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's good.
I mean, it's kind of cool to see him getting all the touches now. Kind of show everybody what he's capable of, and he should get a running back 1 contract after this season, especially.
I agree. Okay, have you been having trouble with your mail here in Crosby?
So we get it delivered to the house, so I don't really have any issues with the post office. I don't know if we live so far away from the post office, if that...
So do you have a P.O. box?
Not anymore, no.
Because there was an all-time fight on Crosby Connections that I got to talk to you about. So Chuck Bosingham writes, what is wrong? And this is in Crosby Connections.
Yep.
So if you're listening, you can check this out. It's hilarious. What is wrong with our post office? Had things returned with no slip or key in box. Has been happening too much. Has to change. The first person, it's a mess. Second person comments, we lost a package that got mailed to Arizona instead. Third person, I had a perishable gift parcel that sat there for 10 days. Unacceptable. Dude, all these people. And then finally somebody, whoever the post office lady is, somebody finally steps up and says, you guys do realize there's only one person. Maybe go help her instead of being mad at her. 5 people. And then somebody goes, ask Milo where we all start calling to complain. Milo was the old GOAT postmaster.
Yeah.
He's now retired. And then one of the homies, Justin Benson, just goes, yep, ditto. Like, dude, there's a bunch of comments here about people pissed off. Like, there's 72 comments on here about people arguing about the post office.
I've heard quite a bit of stuff about, like what you're saying there, people getting packages sent back and whatnot, or...
then I shouldn't say your name online, but somebody goes, this is the beginning of the comment, Trev. I'm beginning to wonder if she knows how to read. For the past couple weeks, I have been getting other people's mail. And then somebody commented back to that person that said it, says the one talking, I'm pretty sure she's a lot smarter than you.
Boom, roasted.
Dude, boom, roasted. Dude, only small town North Dakota. Like, I was telling Kristen and I were talking about kind of what our future plans are and stuff. And I'm like, I love Crosby because there's like stuff like this that happens. And it's like big time news where if, I've lived in big cities.
Talk of the town.
Talk of the town, like everybody roasting each other on Facebook. I love it. But you've heard about the post office shenanigans?
So I've heard a little bit, yeah, just a couple random stories, mainly just people complaining that like after a day, if you don't pick up your package, they're going back. But the thing that I had heard, I guess, allegedly was some newer employees there that obviously don't know everybody in town yet, whereas the people that have been working there for a long time do. So it's a lot easier for them to sort out issues.
Oh,
as
that's
far as
Tommy Thompson's. Put
exactly.
It in there.
They'll say the address is wrong on a package, but the name's right. They'll be like, oh, well, this goes to so and so.
Yeah.
Somebody that doesn't know who that is probably just going to follow their protocol and what they have to do. So I'm. I can see why people can get upset,
Me too.
Especially around holidays, expecting Christmas gifts and whatnot. But I'm sure there's two sides to the story. So, but it is kind of entertaining watching everybody get fed up on Facebook.
I want to comment so bad on some of those, but I'm like, I better not get in there. Because sometimes when I'm commenting, like last year when Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl pushed Andy Reid or bumped into him. Remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
And a bunch of people posted specifically around Crosby. They're like, he should be banned for the next year. That's incredible. And one of the guys, I finally commented back. I'm like, dude, they're pro athletes. It was the heat of the moment. Travis Kelce's 34 years old. He's played for Andy his whole career.
Yeah.
Like that's 12 years, I think. It's different. He's like, well, you coach high school athletics. Do you think it'd be nice if a high school player bumped into you? I'm like, that's totally different.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
High school players aren't making millions of dollars to play out there.
And it's not the fucking Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did I think it was right? No. But I'm not saying you should ban him from the NFL for a year.
No, that's just pure emotion. I mean, that's just the joy of sports. A lot of times it's bad emotion, not good emotion. And like you said, those two have done a lot together. Just it got blown out of proportion for sure.
Well, one of the best documentaries of all time was the Michael Jordan Bulls one, and Michael Jordan at the end said, "Yeah, I was an asshole, but you might think I'm an asshole, but you never won anything.
Well, that's that's something to do with kind of today's day and age anymore.
Yeah.
Athletes aren't necessarily susceptible to taking criticism very well, and don't understand a teammate's will to want to win or to be that competitive. A lot of times they might say, hey, you need to pick it up over there, whatever it may be. A lot of people just need to, especially I see it a lot at the high school level. You see a couple guys that really want it, that have that drive, and they'll get after the kids, not like coaches do, but they'll kind of be trying to pick them up. Yeah. And a lot of times those underclassmen, they don't really
put their head down. And
that's
the one thing like that I really enjoyed when I was coaching, because we had Wyatt Carabello and Lane Carabello and Leighton Krecklow and all those kids. We could get after them.
Oh yeah.
And they wouldn't put their head down or nothing. And then they get after like young guys like Stockton and Hunter and all those other guys.
Yep.
And they wouldn't put their head down. They just kept balling.
Well, you remember being at that age.
Yeah.
Especially like our younger years. If one of the upperclassmen mouthed off or said something, especially if
your
it
ass
was
kicked.
Yeah, like you didn't do that again in practice or whatever they were getting after you about, you kind of, it's their way of coaching in a way, lead by example.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, 100. That's one guy I would kind of want to get in the podcast is Jake. Just talk about some of the old stales.
Be a good one. Can't believe you haven't had him on yet.
I know. Well, we were going to, but it just didn't work out. And plus the Steelers just lost, so I'm sure he's not in a very good mood.
Yeah, today wouldn't be a good one to call.
Well, buddy, we've been at this for 42 minutes. Really appreciate you coming on, and it means a lot to have you as the 100th guest. But leave us with something. What have you learned lately? You've been a guest on here before, but what have you learned lately, and what's something you say to yourself as a coach and as a great parent to kind of get over the tough times and move forward?
One thing that I've really tried lately to do a little bit more personally here is be grateful. In today's day and age where there's, you see everybody posting on social media, whether they're traveling or they, have all this money, yada, yada. It's tough. It's kind of tough for people to, kind of get jealous or kind of say, oh, I wish I had that. I want that. Rather than other people have it worse. And I don't know.
No, you're spot on. Like I do that all the time. Like when I see people in Arizona tonight for the Vikings game, I'm like, fuck, I wish I was there. Why am I not there? What am I doing?
But then take a step back and look, and
I got a healthy kid. I got a great girlfriend. What's going on?
Exactly.
Here? Yeah.
And I probably didn't always have that perspective. And I'm trying to get a little bit better about that. Just really grateful. I love my wife and kids more than anything. I love coaching basketball. Love where I'm at here in Crosby. Obviously there's days it could be better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would just say be grateful, appreciate what you have, appreciate where you're at in life. If you're not where you want to be at in life, then what can you do to get there? But yeah, be grateful. I feel like a lot of people are ungrateful just because they want to be that person that they follow on social media or whatever. So it gets kind of lost in translation. And
well, some of those people on social media aren't that happy. That's something to remember too. They're posting that, oh, I'm happy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I see that all the time with girls on Instagram specifically. Like when I was single, I would see like all these girls posting, oh, I'm over here, I'm over there. And then you go and you see them at the bar or at the pool party, whatever, and they're fucking miserable.
Oh yeah.
But if you look at their Instagram, they're like, oh, I'm having the best time. But so that's just such a two-sided coin.
It is.
It's almost like the happiest people don't mess with anything.
But it kind of goes back to, I mean, we were talking about that Facebook thing about the post office. Like
all those people,
so many people, like we would never hear about this argument or anything if it wasn't for social media, and
Right.
so many people would probably never say anything in public about it, but they can just go on social media, and it's kind of, I think that's why things are trending in the not greatest direction for our country in general, is I think social media has a lot of effect on people's mental health.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm with you, bro. Well, one person I'm grateful for is you, man, and I appreciate you. And give us, so you're on Twitter, right? Everybody, you have some good tweets, Rat Race tweets. Why isn't Rat Race on TV anymore? Rat Race.
There's a lot of movies that need to be on TV more. Son-in-Law, I guess that's on CMT quite a bit. But
it is. Shout out CMT. But
a lot
Rat
of those
Race
movies
should be on it.
Yeah, from like when we were growing up and stuff.
God, we rented that so many
Probably
times.
because they're not very good movies for the general audience. but for idiots like us, they were classics.
Yeah. Well, I love you, buddy, and I appreciate you. And it's going to be fun watching the rest of Divide County, and fun to have our kids grow up together. That's going to be the best.
Excited for you, buddy. Excited for your new chapter in life.
Yeah.
The best chapter, being a dad. Yeah, it can be a lot sometimes, but it is.
That already.
I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I know you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Proud of you, buddy.
Thank you, brother. That's wrap episode 100.